is that Evol in my dinosaur deck? And it would also appear the Pendulum Magicians are doing some little interesting things. One big 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out. More awesome content. So what in the world have we done here? Well, I guess we're playing, you know, some value in this deck because we're playing Evil Singularity in here just to be able to, I guess, make the Evilzor Raz. This is a little bit of an interesting little inclusion of little combo pieces that you can kind of bring to the table. I didn't actually think that we would try anything like this, but interesting, to say the least. So we have 2 copies of little Amador Archosaur, triple copies of Astral Blossom and Joyous Spring with your triple copies, a little baby Ceratosaurus. Got the 1 Evilzor Rios, and then 1 copy of the Megaloclaria. I can't even pronounce that right. Got triple Maxi with your triple Misk. Must be nice to have triple Misk. We have 2 Pterodon with your 1 Scrap Chimera. We also have 2 Scraptor with triple copies of Oviraptor. 2 copies of the Ultimate Conductor Machine and 1 copy of the Xenometeorus. And then 1 Frostosaurus friend. Then we have 2 copies of Called by the Grave, your 2 double evolution pill, triple fossil dig with triple ground Xeno. And then of course we have 1 pill beta and 1 copy of Evilzor Singularity. And of course we have 1 copy of the Underworld Goddess with 1 Scrap Wyvern, with your 1 Lingaribo, with your 1 Nightmare Unicorn. Got 1 IP with 1 Dahark, 1 Asa with 1 Access Code. Got 2 copies of the Raza, 1 Lagia with a 1 Dolka. Got the 1 Chinging, your 1 Baron, and your 1 copy of the Transcendrick Giant or Louser. God, this thing's 3,800 attack points. Got the 1 Doggeron with 2 Droll, 2 copies of the Kurikara, 1 Nibiru, 2 copies of Herald, 2 Pointer with 2 copies of Evenly Matched, 2 Infinite Permanents, and 1 copy of Red Reboot here, wrapping up your take for Transcendrick Evilzor. Next up here we have Pendulum Edition, sporting off Duality or Shadow's Light here. This lets you target 1 dark monster you control, special summon 1 light monster with the same original type and level from your deck or extra deck, and you can banish this card from your graveyard during the main phase. You can normal summon 1 light or dark monster in addition to your normal summoner set, and then you cannot conduct a battle phase the turn you activate either of this card's abilities. Well, attribute a dark monster to summon a light monster with the same original type and level. Well, I can only imagine some of the shenanigans you're going to get into here in the, you know, the Pendulum department here for some of this stuff. Would have to be your big interaction points for this. So, also, I mean, access to things from the extra deck is also going to be kind of cute, but okay. This is definitely something I didn't really expect this deck of all things to take advantage of. So we have 1 Astrograph Sorcerer with triple copies of Black Fang. We have 2 copies of Dimension Shift with triple copies of the Double Iris. We have 2 Droll with triple copies of Harmonizing, 2 copies of Maxi, 2 copies of Oath, 1 copy of the Formapal Celestial Magician, 1 copy of the Odd Eyes Butler, and then we have 1 copy of the Odd Eyes Dissolver, triple Pendulum Sorcerer with triple Skull Crabat, triple Purple Poison, and triple copies of Wisdom Eye. And then we have 2 Duelist Alliance, triple Shadow's Light, 1 Star Pendulum Graph, 2 Talents, and a Time Pendulum Graph. Down in the next trick, we have 1 Selene with 1 Electromite with 1 Boral Sword, your 1 Beyond, 1 Selene with 1 Time Star with 1 Baguski, 1 Zombie Stein with 1 Abyss Dweller. We have 1 Ignister with 1 Chaos Angel, 1 Baron with 2 Supreme King Starving Venom, and 1 Odd Eyes Vortex. And then our side deck here is 1 Lancia, triple Ash with 1 Drizzworm, 1 Magna with 2 Santa Claus, 2 Book of Eclipse, 1 Cosmic, 1 Feather Duster, 1 Red Reboot, and 2 copies of Summon Limit here, wrapping up your Pendulum Magician Shadow's Light. Next up here we have, now, I purposely put this in here because I thought that this was wild, but we're playing Vanquish Soul with mathmech. You know, this would be something that I would truly expect the TCG to bring to the table here, because this is just like the absolute pile at the end of the day. And I think this tells a pretty interesting story about how, you know, where the format can go, especially when you have like a good mid-range engine here that can do things, and then you can follow it up with haha mathmech. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have 1 copy of Doggeron, triple copies of Circular, Then we have 1 diameter with 1 nabla, 1 sigma with 1 subtraction. We have triple copies of Maxi, triple copies of Parallel Exceed with 2 copies of Dr. Madlove. We have 2 copies of Heavy Borger with 1 copy of Kaiser Varius. Got the 1 Panthera with 1 Pluton HG. Triple copies of Rosin with 2 Call by the Grave. Got the 1 Cross-Out Designator with your 1 Equation. 1 Rhoda with triple copies of Small World. Triple copies of Stake Your Soul. 1 Vanquish Soul Continue. We got 1 Dust Devil and 1 copy of Super Factorial. Then we have 1 Update Jammer with 1 Transcode Talker. 1 copy of Splash. Then we have 2 copies of Rock of the Vanquisher. 1 copy of Link Decoder with 1 copy of the Crystal Heart. We also have 1 copy of Neo Tempest Terahertz, 1 Heat Soul with 1 Access Code, 1 Laplace without 1 Albertian, 1 Baguski, your 1 Aggregator, and 1 D Save Worm. And then, of course, we got 2 Droll and Lockbirds, 2 Space Rock with 1 Feather Duster, 2 Thrust, 2 Exceed Encore, 2 Evenly Matched, 1 Red Reboot, and triple copies of There Can Only Be One. Wrapping up your mid-range control meets massive explosion OTK. Next up here we have Illusionist. Now, I have been a huge fan of tracking how this deck has been evolving in the OCG because it's genuinely been a cool ride to see how players are trying to make this deck come together and all of the extremely cool ideas that are behind the testing for this. And also, I mean, I haven't really seen this build play Fusion Reinforcement, but actually kind of cool. Thank you, Chimera, the flying mystical beast here. Kind of adding in a little bit of extra flavor to this deck. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have triple copies of Berfelmet, the Great Wings. Triple copies of the Cornfield Curator. We have 1 DD Crow, so we've got a little defensive option here. We have triple copies of Droll and Lockbird with triple copies of Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws. 1 Ghost Ogre with 1 Fenner and 1 Unicorn along with triple Maxi. Then you got the triple Mirror Sword, 2 Radion with 2 Call by the Grave. You got triple Chimera Fusion with your 1 Crossout. Got 1 Fusion Reinforcement with 1 Cashier Birth, 2 Pot of Prosperity with 1 Ray Sloth, 1 Talents, and 2 Imperm. And then we have 1 Unicorn, 1 Hark with 1 Cross Sheet. We have 1 Access Code Talker with 1 Baguski. We got the 1 Raza with your 1 Zeus. And we have 1 Dracostopelia, 1 copy of Magnum the Reliever, 2 Guardian Chimera, 2 copies of Chimera the Beast King. Then we have 1 Gazelle, 1 Chimera the Illusion Magical Beast, and 1 regular Chimera. And you got the 1 Crow, your 1 Ghost Ogre, 2 Nibiru, 1 Radion, 2 Cosmic, 1 Feather Duster, 2 Dimensional Barrier, triple Evenly, 1 Imperm, and 1 copy of Red Reboot here, wrapping up kind of the more fundamental-esque side of things for this deck. I do like, the fact where you are getting the mini Kashtira package in here to allow, extra levels of interruption, so it actually keeps this deck doing its thing. Next up here we have ABC with Revolution Synchron and a mini Crystal Beast package. Yeah, this deck, I'm very happy to see the Revolution Synchron actually helped it out. I mean, being able to toggle an AFD into a Crystal Wing is absolutely hilarious. Like, yeah, the value you get from this is actually pretty devastating. So we have 2 Assault Core with triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have 2 copies of Bee Buster Drake and 2 copies of Sea Crush Wyvern. And then we have 1 Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus, triple Maxi, your triple Revolution Synchron with 2 Regulus. We have 2 copies of Union Driver with 2 Call by the Grave. We have 1 Crossout Designator with 2 copies of Foolish Real Goods. Got the 1 Pot of Prosperity, your 1 Set Rotation, your 1 Terraforming. Then we have 2 copies of Disc Coliseum with 1 Talents, 1 Tuning with triple Unauthorized Reactivation, triple Union Hanger with 1 Imperm, and 1 Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. Then we have 1 Underworld Goddess, 1 Azalea with 1 Platinum Gadget, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, your 1 IP, 1 Apollosi, 1 Access Code, your 1 Baguski, your 1 Zeus, 1 Crystal Wing, your 1 Black Rose, your 1 AFD, and 2 Buster Dragons. And we have the 2 Drolls, 2 Curry Kara, 1 Nibiru, 1 Change of Heart, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, 2 Dark Ruler No More, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Red Reboot, and 2 copies of Solemn Judgment here. Wrapping up your chunk of goodies here for this week. A lot of cool little things this week that I didn't really think that we'd get the chance to really see out here, but that's what makes these sorts of things, exciting. You never know what kind of cool idea is going to walk through those doors. Leave a comment down below, guys, and I will see your beautiful faces back here in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.